Who am I when no one is watching? And what do I do to avoid meeting that version of myself?
Ooh, very good. And this is in the context of
10 questions I can ask myself about myself that I don't know yet.
ooh, very nice.
So it allows us to go deeper into our self-discovery. Who am I when no one is watching? And what do I do to avoid meeting that version of myself? So who are you when no one is watching, Will?
I sit down all day editing videos, planning YouTube videos, scrutinizing my videos, looking at analytics, having two-way conversations with AI about how to improve them. And that is my entire personality. I then fake in front of other people that I have other hobbies and interests.
So what I'm hearing is disciplined, is what you
It's
are
not.
when
I
no
don't think
one's
it's discipline.
No, why don't you think that's... Because to me, that sounds exactly like discipline. You are day after day, without hopes of a reward in the moment, actively working towards an end goal, which is discipline.
Yeah. But there's a but with discipline.
Okay.
And discipline is because I follow Alex Hormozy's definitions because they work. They're true.
What a shock.
Yeah.
You and Alex Hormozy.
I know. We're like this. Just
You would lose your mind if you lost it, if you met him, wouldn't you?
no. I'd be. That's very un-Alex Hormozy. He's taught me well. I'd say hello, but I'd never get to meet him unless I was worthy. You know, unless I just like walk past him in the street. I'd be like, hey, I watch your stuff. You know, a bit of a fan. You've inspired me. I've got to almost 500,000 subs. You know, you're a legend. His definition is how many times can you do a punishing activity without reward? But he said, oh, well, I've got loads of gym owners that come to me and they're like, oh, but I'm so disciplined. I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I go to the gym before I start work and I'm disciplined. It's like, no, you're not, because you love it. So if you love what you're doing on a regular basis, you are not disciplined, because it takes no discipline when you do something because you love it. It takes discipline to do stuff you don't enjoy necessarily. So for me, it would be admin work. If I do admin and was to sit down and do admin every day for 3 hours every day for the same amount of time as I've been uploading videos, that would be discipline.
So do you not think that takes some of the love out of it, though? Maybe having that definition, because you're saying that because you love it, that means you're not disciplined. You're not rewarding yourself for the hard work you're doing.
No, it's just grace. It's like I don't need discipline necessarily because I enjoy it. I'm consistent, but I wouldn't say it requires much discipline for me to do it.
So when no one's watching, you're consistent then. We'll use that word. You're consistent. You work towards an end goal that is further down the line, but you see the hard work in doing it. What else and who else are you when no one is watching? So what are the inner thoughts of Will? Are you self-deprecating? Do you have a strong sense of self-belief? Do you, you've said that you self-criticize your own videos day after day after day. First thing we did when we came in here was we spoke about how your first video, you're really proud of your long form that's just gone out on Will Taylor.
They're going out tomorrow morning. Oh, Wednesday morning. I had to do it in advance. But yeah, no. So I don't have any wins really. Even 100,000 subscribers. Like, what have I said about that? It's like I hit it and it was like, okay, now what?
But why isn't that a win? Because really, when no one's watching, that is a win. When people are watching, that is a win. 100,000 subscribers is something that very few people get to. We spoke about that in the Will Taylor Growth podcast episode. But why will you not allow yourself to feel that win? Why does it not tangibly feel like a win for you?
Because up until you reach it, it seems incredible. It's like, that is so many people. The character you designed about the person who can achieve that is X, Y, and Z. They earn this much money. They present in this way. They have this much together in their life. When you actually get there, there's no more secrets. It's like, whether you like it or not, you are now the person that other people see is like, oh my goodness, you're all these things.
Yeah.
It's, you realize very quickly, no, I'm still me. I still have exactly the same problems as I had before. The money hasn't changed from 80k subs to 100k, which, by the way, didn't really change from 80k, 60k, 50k, 20k, right? So that doesn't change. Everything is the same. And you realize as well, 100k was only the goal because it seemed way out of reach. So the goal is always the thing that is way out of reach. That's what I'm driving towards. Why should I feel proud or celebrate myself or anything to do with, well done, Will? Because the whole joy, the whole reason to do all of it is the very fact that I enjoy just making the content.
But then you're just pushing the goalposts further down the line.
But the goals are irrelevant to me, really.
Would you continue doing this if it didn't make you money? Because then the answer to that is whether the goal is relevant or not in reality. Because
I would, because I enjoy engaging with the people. I love the fact that I'm able to build a community and I can create an escape for people. That's it. Would I make as much content? No, I wouldn't.
I've got a question for you, slightly off topic. It's a question that was posed on the latest podcast I actually listened to, which is, I'm going to edit it slightly because they were saying about writing a book, but obviously I'm going to make it tangible for you. You find out without any shadow of a doubt that the world is going to end in 30 days. It is just going to end. There's going to be nothing past that. Do you continue making YouTube?
This is day 1 of 30 that is going to end. Yeah, I'd make a vlog series. I live stream the entire thing.
Yeah, so there's a question asked to almost pose the sense of purpose. If someone is then, well, there's no point in doing it, well, then probably that's not your purpose that you should be pursuing in life.
Do I think a lot of things would go crazy. I think my relationship would end. I think my family would be incredibly disappointed in me. I think lots of things would fall away because at that point it's like, what are your true priorities? If you don't have to worry about bills or anything, what are you going to do? It's like, the only thing I would care about is how many people can I reach before I die? I'm just after maximum reach. That's it.
So I'm going to ask a few more questions on this first prompt.
Yeah, then I want to know. I want to know yours after that.
We'll flip it back. Don't you worry.
You're going to have to go. For me,
yeah. For me. No, but so who are you when people are watching? What facade do you put on when you're me out with the guys, when you're in front of family and friends? Are you the same person or are you a different person?
This is really interesting. You're going to find something out now, and so is everyone else. When I'm on, let's do the easy one. So the easy one is Will Taylor.
Yep.
In front of fans and whatever, positive, happy, like just loving life, everything that I like my aspirational person would be. That's who I try and be when I'm Will Taylor. When I'm with the guys, it's more. There's more context involved. Like you understood my struggle coming up to where I was. But I definitely lean on the fact, I've worked so hard. Like, it's really difficult to get where I am. I'm so lucky. I definitely try and make it seem like I work harder than I do because I don't feel like I work that hard.
So it's almost a facade that you want people to perceive that you're working hard?
It's a fear. It's a deep-seated fear.
People don't think you work hard. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so I let people know that I work because I can logically think you work hard because you get up in the morning and you don't finish work until midnight or after that. And even when you've stopped work and you're just watching TV with your girlfriend, you're still thinking about YouTube. Like you never switch off. So yes, that's hard work because if I did the same stuff but for accountancy, that would be work. But I see work as something that is, you're just doing it for the money. Whereas YouTube isn't that. YouTube is fun. It's how I get paid, but it's not work, I wouldn't say. When I'm with you on the podcast, and in fact, even when I'm just talking to you, how do I present? I mean, you could probably tell me how I come across to you.
I don't know. I think it's the most authentic I've ever seen you, but that's because we have spent hours on hours just conversing naturally and the conversation has flowed. I've challenged you to think in ways you've probably never thought to, and vice versa. So I think we've both been extremely authentic because there's no walls. Ironically, there's people watching, and this may or may never ever be seen by anyone else. But I think the person you present is probably quite close to the person you actually are, or maybe I'd like to think that it is, because I think that's how we're going to achieve the best growth within this industry.
But even when the cameras aren't on. Would you say the same thing?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm the same on camera in this scenario as I am in real life. to
I
you?
think when you're more on here, you're more thoughtful. You will allow more outside perspectives to come and open your horizons. I've seen that play out ever so slightly more so outside of it. So when it's just us and the cameras are off, you're a little bit more, well, I remember that what you said, so I can see it almost like taking root. But outside, I still perceive you super like driven and everything. But you're excitable, you're fun, you're passionate. You've all of these good traits as well, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, it's I panic. Like, I also, my whole person, and it sounds like from what you've said, the person that because what you described there is basically who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much of my existence is just me just trying to play a character anyway. On the type of person I want to be is super hardworking, driven, goal orientated, has loads of drive, will relentlessly work towards a single goal. But I think maybe part of the reason why the 100,000 subscriber milestone didn't matter to me, and why 1 million won't matter to me, and 10 million won't matter to me, and why at the end of the day the money in my bank account doesn't matter to me, is because I'm just trying to play a character that is like, well, the person that I want to be would be doing all of these things.
So you're just living out a predetermined route
Whatever
this person would achieve.
Yeah, whatever my dream person would be doing, I'm just trying to live up to that. Which might also be why I feel like I don't work hard enough, and I don't.
Because you perceive what this person would be. But isn't that what they call the ego, though? Where the sense of where you are and the sense of where you can be, you know, is the difference between is the ego.
Could be. It's very... I think I'm just scared. I think it comes down to that. I'm terrified of not living up to my potential, not being able to be everything that I could possibly be. And that is me being as open and raw and honest as I can be. I just don't think I will ever be good enough at anything. I feel incredibly just scared, panicky, insecure. I need as many people's eyes on me as possible, otherwise I haven't done enough. Like, if I'd just done this thing better, then I would have had an extra reach to somebody else and an extra impression, and that could have led to a higher click-through rate, and then I could get more people. I don't know why I need external validation so much, but I really do. It's like I'm terrified to wake up in the morning and the whole YouTube thing is gone. Like, I need to get big on all platforms. Hang on a second, I haven't uploaded to TikTok today. Oh my goodness, like that is so frustrating. So I must work more, because then I need to get more things on TikTok, because TikTok doesn't penalize you in the same way YouTube does, or seems to. So I need to, and then it's like, okay, well then I'll be big on TikTok, then I'll be big on YouTube. But Instagram and Facebook, there's still loads of people I'm not reaching over there. So now I need to put a really big focus over there. But I can't let anything else slip, because I've done so much to get in front of all these people. I need to keep their approval. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I admire that, though. That's a real, authentic, honest look. And I think there's probably a lot of people that will resonate with that, you know? The genuine fear of not being who they could be. Isn't it genuine hell is when the person you could be meets the person you are, or vice versa, the person you are meets the person you could have been. And I agree.
I use that framing every day.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Terrifying.
It is terrifying, but I think it's a really great framing, but I think there's very few people that act on it, and I know sometimes I don't as well. Like, I'm terrified of that, and sometimes I just make excuses. So yeah, I know, I appreciate that, man. You've been extremely honest in the first 15 minutes. And
trying. It's. I wouldn't have been able to do this episode 1.
No, this is what I mean, is the depth that you're able to get to, we're both able to get to now, is incredible, and it's only going to get better, and it's definitely going to take seed as it sort of presents as we go further down the line as well, because again, there's things that I'm doing more driven and business orientated that I never thought I would be doing, and I got that from you, you know?
Glad to be of service.
That's what you're here for, mate. Service.
So who are you when nobody is watching?
Who am I when
What's
no
your
one is
internal
watching?
monologue?
Oh, extremely self-deprecating. I don't think people realize. Actually, I'm going to caveat it. It used to be extremely self-deprecating. I'm working on it like mad. The amount of self-development and therapy I've tried to do in the last 2 years has just been... It's the biggest investment I've ever made, and thankfully it's on myself, which is where the biggest investment should go. So a few years back, I was extremely self-deprecating, and my self-talk was extremely negative. So when no one was watching, I was cruel to myself. I was sad. I was always down on myself. I was always putting up barriers that I could never achieve. I was always chasing this sense of perfection that I could never really achieve. And there's still parts of that there. And there's still days where I'm like, wow, like I am just beat, because I've put so much pressure on myself and people expect me to be this. This is, well, maybe I feel like to the people person I'm playing sometimes is this cool, down to earth, well traveled, kind of has a opinion on things, but it's great to like pull people together and super inclusive. I feel like that's maybe the image people present, and I'm like, I really wish I was that person. I don't think that's all I can really say. Is there's times where I hear how people refer to me and I'm like, are we talking about the same person? Like, brother, who you're telling me I am is not who I see in the mirror. And it cripples me, man. I'm like, I used to say this to my ex, it's like, if I could get 10% of how you viewed me in my self-belief, I'd be a different person. I know I said the same to her. If you could have 10% of how I see you, like, you'd be a different person. So yeah, who am I when no one's watching? Someone that's maybe presents to be is less complete than he presents to be. And I think that's my most honest answer to that. Like, I don't know all the answers. I always wish that there's more I could have done and sin and be. And I ironically look at the things I've achieved and I'm going, yeah, that's great, but I also wish I'd done all these other things.
Yeah. It seems like to create a similarity between us, my YouTube milestones for you, I think, are like countries. So you probably thought, when I've been to X, then I'll feel a certain way. And the type of person that would have gone to Mexico and had a good... When they come back from that, they'd be like this.
Yeah.
And then you've actually done it and you've gone, I'm still me. I've just done this thing.
So true. There's a saying, wherever you go, there you are. It's so true. And yeah, I think the same. Like, so I've done the ski season in Japan. Never in my wildest dreams would I think I'd do that. And there's times I look back and go, that's so damn cool. There's other times I'm like, how the fuck have I done that? Like, Jesus. And you're right. Yeah, maybe the person who I thought could do something like that would be this like pretty cool guy. And I'm just like, I don't feel that.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's we're trying to live up to an expectation that I think almost deliberately we'll never be able to live up to. Because it's like humans, we have to be chasing something. We're predators.
But I honestly wonder this though, because I do think there's people that are quite happy with who they are and they're content with who they are, and they maybe don't feel any real drive to change, or they don't act on the drive to change, or maybe they've numbed themselves with substances or distractions to the point where they feel like they don't or shouldn't change.
Do you think it also comes from lack of options? For example, I feel like people were happier historically because you were in the village and there was the choice of 3 jobs. Do I want to be a policeman, a fireman, or work in the ambulance, or maybe work as a butcher or something?
Yeah.
They were your jobs. You've only got a choice of 4. Now, literally, you can do anything.
You could do absolutely anything.
So then it's like, would I be happier if I just did that? So it's a paralysis of options.
Yeah.
And that creates anxiety because you're not sure what's going to happen next.
I've always said that. So there's people in my life who I will say this to. I'd probably say it to you off camera. I wouldn't say it to on camera. But I look at and go, I would love to be you. Not because you've done things I haven't done or will do things I will never do, but because you almost have a lack of inspiration. I know that sounds like a really rude thing to say or a really arrogant thing to say, but I look and sometimes go, you know what, you're so happy with, and I can't think of a better word, the mundane. And I'm like, I'm not. I wish I was. Maybe that's a horrible thing to say, but
I say it to Soph a lot. I wish I could be you. Life would be so much simpler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's Jeremy Clarkson and James May say it to Richard Hammond on Grand Tour all the time. It must be so nice to be him. He's got Nigel Manson's head on the front of his car. No, it's not. It's Stalin.
Out of the 3 of them, who are you most like?
I would say Richard.
You're Richard?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually don't know. I used to think when I was younger I was Richard, but I actually don't think I would.
Just because you're the short guy.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, but the thing, I feel like I'm super short compared to Jeremy Clarkson. But
Yeah, he's tall.
But I don't know actually if he is that tall, or just if James and Richard are really. I think he might be 6'2".
6'5".
6'5"? Is he really?
6'5".
Oh, he is actually a juggernaut.
Yeah, he's tall.
Damn. Yeah, I've been to his farm though. By the way, I kid you not, best burgers in the world are at Clarkson's farm. That's not any hype that's played into that. You take a bite into the burger, it melts in your mouth. I've never experienced anything like it. You genuinely bite it, go for the second chew as you naturally would, it's not there. It's mental. You're left with like a little bit of bun, but everything just sort of... It's crazy. It's a crazy experience. Well worth it. And it's normal pub prices as well.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's at his farm. I didn't go to the pub. I didn't book a table a month in advance.
Damn.
And they bring out the bookings on the 1st of every month at midnight. Or no, it's some stupid time in the morning. So unless you're that, like, it's sold out by the 1st of the month every month. It's crazy.
So, Will, 10 questions you can ask yourself about
we haven't
yourself.
done your other one, which is what are you like when people are watching? Or maybe we did cover that.
Well, I think I kind of touched on it, which is I present to be the cool, chilled out, easygoing. And there's a part of me that really wants to be that. But then I think as I've gotten older, I've also learned you can't always be the chilled out person because there's times where you need to actually take control and be a bit of a force, you know?
Yeah. It's okay. It's realising it's okay to be disagreeable, I suppose.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. So I'm not sure who I perceive to be now, to be honest, because I think when I was younger, I was probably the aloof, the easygoing, like the super laid back, whereas now I don't know.
Do you think you're the same person you were when you were younger, but now you're looking at it with a different perspective?
Maybe.
Because I feel like that would make sense. That's quite common, just because we are more ignorant the younger we get. And then when people get into their teenage years, they become more self-aware, so everyone becomes more self-conscious. Then as you become an adult, because you've gone through this phase of, oh, I was so happy when I was a kid and you had no cares in the world. Then you go through this teenage phase where everyone's confidence gets knocked because you suddenly become self-conscious.
Yeah.
Then you're an adult and you're in the world and you're like, I need something to restabilize me here.
Well, isn't that what they say? Something along the lines of in your 20s, you think everyone cares about you. In your 40s, you stop caring about what other people think of you. And then when you're 60, you realise no one gave a shit about you anyway.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I think for me, the huge difference I've always laughed at, like the big parallel I've always laughed at, and like what I know I am behind closed doors and what people perceive me to be, is I get the easygoing, chilled out, cool guy. Like that's kind of surfer dude, you know, easy go. You've seen my calendar. I am so meticulously organised.
Yeah.
Because if I don't meticulously organise, I can't be chilled out. Like, have you ever heard, like, go with the flow? Just let me know what time the flow starts. If there's going to be food at the flow. Like, what time does the flow end? Like, that's me. Like, I need to plan everything. Like, so when people go, oh, you're easy going, I'm like, no, I'm not. So, yeah.
It's like that Kevin Hart sketch where he's like, when a girl goes out, you say to her, "Oh, cool. What time you're going out? Okay, cool. Like, do you want to know where I'm going? I guess you're going somewhere. and don't you know what I'm gonna do when I'm out there? It's like you're gonna do something.
We don't care.
Yeah. And then flip it the other way around. When he goes out, I'm just going out with the guys. Where are you going? Don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Where are you meeting? No, I guess we'll just turn up and we'll probably will be there. It's like, what are you having? Are you eating? I hope so. I'm hungry.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, I suppose that's a good parallel, isn't it? But yeah, number 2, you ready?
Let's go.
Do I actually like who I've become, or have I simply learned to tolerate myself? That is such a deep question that I wonder what everyone's answer would be, because I think it's one of those questions you've got to actually stop and think about and take in.
Yeah.
Because reason being, like, if you ask someone, do you like yourself? Like, yeah, I love myself. And that might be legitimately their answer, but I think if you were to stop and reflect on it in, like, a bit of quiet, a bit of peace, however that looks for you? It would be a really insightful question to answer.
It's crazy. My initial thoughts, I really like the character I play.
Oh, that's such a good answer.
I then jumped to who do I wish I could be as a whole complete person? Because I really love the character I play in business and work. But what are the thing, if I had an extra 10 hours in the day, I feel like, and I wasn't allowed to spend them on work, I would spend all of them. Family, girlfriend, life, self-indulging things. Just so, because at the moment I know my balance is off. I know I spend every available hour working. And it's not something that I can switch off. And I'm sure in reality, if I was given an extra 10 hours a day, I would spend them working.
Yeah, you probably would.
But the person I want to be is the person who has that perfect family life. Because constantly, whenever I'm working, like especially when Soph's here and I'm working, it's working but with an overshadowing guilt of what's she doing in that room. Like, I feel like I should be almost entertaining, or I should be spending time with it. Like, she's off today, like she's not off tomorrow, therefore we should be maximizing today. But I also feel like any time that I'm not truly working on my business and actually making tangible improvements is lost time and eats into my professional potential.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Because we are at that age where we have almost like 3 different sliding scales. You can have like money, time, and like commitments and family and stuff. And like sometimes you have to sacrifice one, and that's what they say of like work-life balance. You know, like my next step up in the career ladder would mean that I have to be in the office 3 days a week. And it's like, do I want that for the extra 6-8K it's going to give me a year? I don't know.
Rory Sutherland was talking about this. He said there used to be one factor in hiring people and people deciding whether or not they want to take a job, and it was the money. And then cars were invented, and it was not only how much can you make, but how large is the commute to work. Because you might have to take, I'd earn way more money if I worked in London, but am I willing to concede on the 50-mile drive in or 60-mile drive in? And now it's got to a place where it's money, location, and hours that you have to work. And you weigh them up against each other when deciding whether or not to take a job. Yes, I could get paid more if I worked in London, but would I rather earn 15k a year less and be able to just live in Cornwall? Yeah.
This is it. There's so much that comes into it. So, Will, do you like who you've become? You said you like the person you're portraying.
Yeah.
You want to be portraying.
I think I do. I think I keep saying this, I feel like I'm 80% of the person that I dream to be. But it's that last...
80%'s pretty damn
But
good.
that last 20 is the bit... Like, what... I don't even know what it would feel like to be 100%.
Do you think that last 20 is achievable? That's not me pushing back and being a dick. That's me legitimately going, do you think that 20% is something that is tangibly achievable? And when you get it, you'll be like, you know what? I see that I've got that 20.
You know what I think will help get me that last 20 is genuinely having kids.
Nice.
I think that will get me there. Because at the moment, I feel like I'm incomplete because I haven't gone through the cycle of I've been born, I've got myself to a place professionally, and now I've got a family of my own. It's like that is the next stage. And I feel like I'm on the brink of that stage, but I'm not there. So it's when you still have room to move, you can't be 100% of the way there, which is why people with really big goals, and especially goals in lots of different facets of life, I think will always struggle to feel complete. A bit like you want to do snowboarding, surfing, go to this country. I want to go and meet this person. I want to be in this relationship at the same time as I'm doing all of those things. And I want to have a good career, but I want to have a career while I'm doing all these things. And it's not possible to surf and snowboard in the same day while being in Australia and Thailand. It's difficult to feel complete when you're all over the place in terms of where you could go.
So I've got two things to say. First one is I think all of that stops stagnation, which I think is a separate point. We're going to shelf that. I'm going to come back. I think you having kids will unlock that 20%. But what it will do is it will give you another level.
Yes, I do as well. I think my priorities may shift.
Yeah.
And where at the moment I'm talking about starting new YouTube channels and doing more and more work, it'll be like, I still want to do all that stuff. I'm not going to stop being me just because I have kids. But the pressure I put on myself I'm going to upload to those every day and I'm going to live stream for 25% of any 24-hour period and all of that stuff. It's like between the hours of 9 and 3, I'll be that person.
Yeah.
But when the kids are home, I'm with the kids.
Yeah, nice.
I think the only way you can do parenting, and this is John Bellion's perspective on it, is the best father you can be is just being present. They don't ask any more of it. It's like you're not going to be able to meet them at their level. You've come at life from two different places. You know, you can't relate to a 1-year-old.
I should hope not.
You can't, and you can't bring them suddenly up to have 25 years of experience in life. But what you can do is you can be there for them, and if they've got a problem, you can just sit with them and let them talk about it. It's all the emotional stuff that you're great at is like that. I'm going to have to very quickly learn how to negotiate life with younger people who maybe don't have the emotional intelligence or have even thought about the idea of blocking out emotion. Kids so jealous of it can just instantly be what they feel.
It's because they're immediately in their body, aren't they? That's all they are, is just present. Like they have no other reason not to be.
It's crazy. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is great. But I think it'll unlock that 20%, but then put you back to 40 on level 2, for instance. You know, like that's my metaphor for that. But I think what you were saying in terms of lofty goals is I think it stops stagnation. So liking who you've become, I think in regards to stagnation, is always going to be a constant battle, because I heard when I was getting into like editing, when I studied at college, which is why I know how to edit, is like an artist or a writer or anyone creative should never really feel like they've finished their project. Because once they feel like they've finished, they should probably give it up. They've probably then... Yeah. All their creative energy's gone. So this is how I feel when it comes to like personal development. It's not that one is incurable, but the human is so multi-layered and so deep that there is always going to be something that's going to change or adapt or evolve, that we are constantly going to be adjusting to the outside world. And to not feel like you want to meet those new demands, or to feel like you're going to stagnate and be like, you know what, yeah, I'm cool, I am who I am, I'm happy with it, good on you. You might have a fair bit of peace there, but I also wonder what goals is that stopping you from achieving. So for me, do I like who I've become, or I simply learn to tolerate myself? Again, this is a really interesting question for me, given where I am in my life. If you'd asked me this 2 years ago, I would have answered yes when the answer was no. Whereas now, I'm answering no when the answer's getting closer to yes. Reason being is I'm putting in the work to better like myself, understand myself, and know who I am. So I'm putting in that work week after week. And there are genuinely days, and I love it. Like, this is a huge statement for me, to be honest. There's genuinely days where I'm just happy all day. Like, I drive around, someone cuts me off, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, my music's gone, I've had a great day, I'll be singing in the house, like, be dancing around, music's on. I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling good, life feels good. And I didn't have days like that before, which is awesome. So do I like who I've become? I like who I'm becoming. Let's put it that way. But again, with everything I've said, it's not like I'm going to get to a point and I'm be like, oh, well, that's 100%. Tick, done. It's going to be, well, I'm going to like who I am now. I'm going to feel stagnant, or that some move needs to open or a door needs to open. I'm going to step through, and that's going to be like, wow, this is the next challenge. And that's how I perceive life to be.
That's really good. Really good answer.
Thank you.
It's, where else? It's like when you're when you first start something, you have the beautiful ignorance. And it's like, yeah, no, I know everything, when you probably didn't. Yeah. That was what I jumped to when you were like, yeah, I would have said yes when the real answer was no.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now you're getting closer to the real thing and you're more likely to say no. It's actually, you realise how much you don't know, but you have to reach a certain point to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
isn't
really
there
good.
Isn't there a saying that says something like, the more I know, the more I realise how little I know?
Yeah.
Or something to that extent. But I think for me, I just don't want to compromise on who I am as a person. And again, if you'd asked me this years ago, I remember being in Costa Rica. I was high, of course, shock. Not Costa Rica the first time, the second time Costa Rica the first time. And being with the girl I was traveling with, and she like Googled like 20 questions to ask a guy. And I was high and I was answering these questions naturally. And she woke up the next morning and went, "Have you ever thought about going to therapy?" And I was like, one, I don't remember what we spoke about. Two, I don't think anyone should go to therapy. I think it's a bad idea. We had a whole argument and debate. And now I'm like, could not have been more wrong. It's changed my life in ways I could never have imagined.
How much of therapy do you think is being open to receiving it?
Oh, yeah, that's the first step. Because I've been to therapy twice before, 3 times before, and never was willing to receive it. You've got to opt into it. You know, there's people that I know that I'm like, you probably should, but it'd be useless for you right now because you don't want to.
Yeah.
You've got to really opt in, and I think that's what I said at the beginning. It's like, I'm opting in. Like, I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna say something I don't actually mean because I can't be bothered, to be honest with you. So yeah, you've got to really want to opt into it, and it's a daunting thing. And I think opting in is a continuous process as well. Like, props to the people that can just like vent everything in one go. For me, it was like a week.
Well, I think interestingly, the people who are just able to vent immediately probably need therapy the least, just because they do it in their normal lives. That is basically the healthiest emotional human you can have. I know I opted in. I've been to therapy when I was a kid. It hadn't really worked. So I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And then opted in 2022 as I was coming to the end of being an accountant, and I was like, just something doesn't feel right. Like I know that I'm going to be famous one day, but I don't know why or how, and just something doesn't fit. But I was open to the responses, and it makes otherwise obstructed pathways in your head open, just because you've got that through line of thinking, and you've got somebody there that's not going to judge you on anything you say, which it sounds really bad, but I don't know if many people actually have that in their authentic day-to-day lives. It's like having a really open friendship group who are happy to go to the depths of the earth with you is so valuable. So valuable, because it's like these podcasts have saved me hundreds in therapy.
You're welcome, mate.
Yeah.
I will bill you.
But you know what I mean? It's having that person to talk to with no judgment, and also without fear of them saying one thing in front of you and like behind your back thinking.
And again, it's how you want to perceive in front of them. So when we're talking about like, have you tolerated yourself, or who are you when no one's watching? When you're in front of your friends, you might not be completely honest because you don't want them to judge you a certain way, or especially with guys, it's the whole like man up thing, you know? Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're a man, you should man up.
Absolutely. You ready for number 3?
Let's do it.
What parts of me have I exiled because they didn't earn approval?
Oh,
yeah.
These are incredible.
These are really deep. I didn't quite realize how intense these would be.
What parts of me did I exile because they didn't win me approval?
Didn't earn approval. Yeah. What parts of me have I exiled because they didn't earn approval? I'll start.
Yeah, please do.
Because it's one I'm working on, and this is a real deep insight into my psychology. So are you ready for this? How do I word it? So part of me that I exiled because I didn't earn approval was expressing sadness, expressing hurt, fear, any of those sort of emotions, because this is a big thing, that as a child, like, they were met, but not the way that maybe I wanted them to be for whatever. There were other reasons, and I'll definitely go into them out off camera, but they never got the reception or the approval that I needed as a child, and attention was elsewhere. So I learned as a young adult navigating that I don't need those. So I learned to be hyper independent, and I learned to try and navigate life without an emotional compass, and it was horrible, man. Yeah, so I exiled not emotion, but negative, quote unquote, negative emotion. So I definitely repressed it. And the worst part is then, obviously, because you repress it, it doesn't go anywhere. And it was just pulling the strings behind. So that's the reason I used to run away all the time. That's why I self-harmed. That's why I was so addicted to weed, because it would just shunt any emotions that I was feeling. So yeah, that is where my immediate thoughts go to of what parts of me have I exiled because I didn't earn approval.
This feels a bit like the game of you have multiple objects on a tray and they're covered up by a tea towel, and then it's removed and you're trying to spot what's missing. It's an interesting mental exercise. You saying sadness is, I'm glad you said that, because that is the one I'm terrible at that game of like noticing what's missing. Yeah, it's, for me, it's when I was in secondary school and maybe age 14, I didn't want to show weakness in school. I'd been bullied enough, and I'd made the decision that the way that I'm going to reclaim my sort of authority and justification of being a person is by really showing how nothing gets to me. And the other thing was, I was watching lots of things and it was like, like men should talk about their feelings more and all of this stuff. And I was like, well, maybe the reverse psychology is like men who talk about their feelings really are weak, and it is actually a problem. So what if I just follow the old advice? How much damage can it really do? It's like people live that way for a long time. It's, so even to this day, like I really struggle to cry. It's like, I don't like that person. I feel like the more negativity, sadness, everything I have in my life, it's like advertising. It's just a retargeting campaign for proving to myself that I'm sad.
It's interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah. So I always try and look positively, always try and put a positive spin on things. I love not taking life too seriously. And I've structured my life in such a way, even when I was an accountant, I was doing this and I wasn't in as much control as I am now. I was controlling the controllables. And sometimes the way for me to do that was to shut off. Other times it was to completely open up. And I was lucky. My first relationship helped me get in touch with my emotions again. But it's quite the thing when you haven't seen your emotions for a long time to then learn, oh my God, like this is a feeling.
You're relearning, yeah.
It's brutal. It's like realizing that it's okay to be sad that you haven't prepared for your accountancy exam tomorrow. It's like, whoa. I remember breaking down crying back then. I was like, I haven't prepared, and it's just like, it's a flood. It's you. There's no controlling an emotion, really. Like for me, it's either they're off or they're on, and it's easier for me to navigate life if I'm just off.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that emotions don't have a place. I think it's easier for me to hide my emotions now because I do have so much positivity around me. Like YouTube is just a constant dopamine source, and my relationship is a constant dopamine source. There's not really anything that upsets me. Even I always jump to like anger and getting annoyed and irritated more than I jump to sadness.
Yeah.
But that is still in the back of my mind. It's still in a jokey way. I can't seem to process emotions without then later putting a funny spin on it or saying, oh, look how annoyed I'm getting at this thing. It's like I look at it from a future perspective. It's like, oh, I'm going to look back next week and be like, me and Sophie are still fine.
Well, it's just so angry about
like,
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if I can feel that way then, why can't I feel that way now? It's like this is just a thing. But it means that you don't properly emote when maybe that would... Because I know, like, when I'm talking about something that truly matters to me versus when I'm just talking about something mundane, I have the same emotional expression. So getting across how much things mean to me sometimes is really difficult because I have no emotion to back it up. I don't know how to just call it.
Yeah.
I know that I express using passion. Like when I'm talking about YouTube, like, you know how I get, right?
You're a very passionate guy.
That's my best way of expressing how much something. But I can only do that with something positive. I can't show with passion how upset I am about something.
Yeah, it's hard. I do wonder, sorry to jump in, I do wonder how many men of our sort of generation have had that dialogue. You know, of it's better to not repress, but not exhibit or...
Just turn off.
Yeah, to turn off those emotions. And then what I really liked as well was your reflection on, well, am I feeling the emotion or am I just telling myself I should be feeling the emotion when really it's actually okay, that I'm actually all right. You know, it's really hard when you start to try and understand these emotions again. It's like, how do I navigate these, you know? Because, again, as young men, sometimes a lot of young men our age have been taught how to navigate the world without them, or have not had emotions modeled to us by a positive male role model. And naturally, there's many different types of positive male role models that one can experience, but one should always experience one that is in touch with their emotions. But you are right with this one. What parts of me have I exiled because they didn't earn approval is like trying to play that game where you look back and go, what's missing? Because you probably do block it out and go, I don't know. But I also do wonder what part it plays now in our life of what have we exiled because we didn't get approval, so therefore what are we chasing now as an adult because we didn't get that approval?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious of, to be honest with you. But I think that probably plays very differently into different people, because some people might then chase that approval, some people might completely run away from it. But yeah, that's a really deep one.
Really good. All these questions are just crazy.
They are. They're really in. And what I think's nice about that one is I don't think we need to go any deeper, because I think it's going to be a little bit challenging to go deeper. Because there's sometimes where you can like go dig, and there's other times where you've got to like...
Yeah. Well, it's like we could just... That could be a whole podcast.
Yeah.
Just that one question.
We might have to turn some of these into whole podcasts.
Yeah, I was going to...
This whole snapshot, I'm going to make a little note of this one and being like, this was a good one.
Yeah. You can do... It's like, let's just go to the deepest depths of our emotions and let's just figure out what everything is. And it's like, you can do that. But then it's like, okay, well, we could talk. That is just therapy at that point. It's like, well, we're not done until we've figured it out. And it might happen in episode 1. It might happen in therapy session 30.
But the great thing is about therapy is you realize like once you dig, there's another 10 layers. So this is why I think that question was perfectly answered by both of us. And I don't think it needs anything else. You ready for number 4?
Let's do it.
Okay. Am I truly pursuing what I value or what I've been rewarded for valuing?
Just shoot me.
I know.
Just shoot me.
I thought that would be a good one for you. So, am I truly pursuing what I value or what I've been rewarded for valuing? My first, and I hate that this is my first thought, it's a very atheist thought, which is, well, how am I going to know it's my value? Surely I'm rewarding myself because it's a value. You know, it's just the questioning the question itself, which I think is immediately a response to it. You know, if I'm going, oh, I don't like the question, I've got a problem with the question, because am I pursuing what I value or what I've been rewarding for valuing? But have I been rewarded for valuing it because it is actually something worth pursuing? You know? But yeah. Will, you want to go first?
Yeah. So context. I have a big YouTube channel. Since hitting 100k subs, I must say my motivation has shifted to... it's so difficult. I wasn't rewarded for pursuing YouTube until I hit 100k subs / had my first viral video.
What do you mean by rewarded? Is that external?
Yeah.
Okay.
Externally, there wasn't... Nobody's like envious. Nobody's wishing they were me. Nobody's trying to help or trying to say, oh, I was there, I was trying to help you, you know. And then since then, I've been able to shelf a lot of my drive and consistency and maybe discipline at times, because there's so much external versions of that. So I can now be like, as everyone's pushing in one direction, they're saying, oh, you're doing so well and you're making this money and you're getting these views. It's like, actually, they've mattered less to me. I now care more about just doing what I enjoy. It's a weird one.
So almost as you've got more into external, what other people would put as the external validation is the endpoint, the 100 million, the money, the whatever it is, 100 million subscribers, I should say.
100,000.
Yeah, sorry, 100 million.
One day.
But yeah, as you've got closer to these maybe external milestones, you've almost gone less and less about them and more about the internal.
Yeah, which I think actually is why I'm making more content now than ever. Because the last 2 years, really I've been doing I've had the same time really as I do now. It's all been YouTube and it's been pub gigs. And now, I've cut down on the pub gigs, but realistically they weren't impacting my ability to do YouTube. Uni, I used as an excuse loads. Like, oh, if I wasn't in uni right now, I could do way more YouTube. Yeah. Really, have I increased much volume compared to what I could do? No. Like, I could still do all this then. But I think it's taken off, or it's put on stabilizers now. So before it felt like I was very wobbly all over the place. Like, I'm just trying to hold everything together. Whereas now it's like stabilizers are on. I'm in autopilot. I can do the shorts. They're not a problem. So it's like, now I can just do what I enjoy all the time. So I could fret about everything, but maybe a lot of it comes from experience as well. It's like, I just want to, I know what will do well and what won't do well. I can really push on a video if I want that video to succeed, but also I'm happy if the video doesn't outperform. And it's crazy how quick that's happened. I got my first viral video in the end of May, early April.
Yeah.
In 6 months, I've gone from every single thing matters, this short is life or death, to how a short can ever be life or death when it's 25 seconds, I have no idea. But in my head it was. To now, I've had the last 2 weeks of underperforming shorts, all 9s and 10s, which is like 9th worst performing out of the last 10. But I don't care in the same way. I just do what I enjoy. Like the streams, I'm doing because I enjoy them. And it happens that also aligns with, and maybe part of the enjoyment could be because I know it's a sensible decision.
But this is where I was going to counter-argue you with what I know about you and your upbringing. I know your parents love and support you regardless of the choices you make, but I think you would have been arguably more rewarded from the outset for being an accountant and getting the degree and getting the job and being in the C-suite and running an accountancy firm than you ever would have been if you went, oh, like, this is my trajectory on YouTube. Naturally, this has changed in the sense that you've helped bring them in and they understand a lot more.
It's inarguable once you've made a success of something.
Yes, absolutely.
If somebody doesn't know the possibilities, and the thing is, you don't know the possibilities when you haven't done it, so it's completely understandable. You just don't understand it. Like, how can you make a full-time living just from getting people to watch you look at your ceiling?
Yeah.
Like, that's that as an idea, like if you told people in the Victorian times, there's going to be people in the future who make more money than you do now just by looking at the ceiling. They'd like, I don't know what they'd do. They'd freak out.
Reminds me of Rick and Morty where he says like, your generation's cooked. You watch fucking videos of YouTube of people reacting to fucking YouTube.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's
but
wild.
it pays really well.
Yeah.
It's insane. The whole concept of it is insane, which also helps with me phrase everything in terms of everything's just a joke.
Yeah.
And it helps me to take life less seriously because at the end, how can I have any complaints when my job is to look at my ceiling?
So let's wrap this one up for you. Are you truly pursuing what you value or what you've been rewarded for valuing?
I think I'm pursuing what I truly value.
I would agree with that for you. 100%. Yeah. I think you've grown into the person who you will continue to grow into, if that makes sense. If you can follow that train of thought.
I feel like I've broken into the world where I belong.
Yes. Agreed. I think out of most of the people I know in my life, well, out of everyone I know in my life, you're one of the people I would consider to be most operating on their highest sense of self and most aligned with their North Star. Like, I don't wake up and go, I wonder what Will's going to do. And if he's happy, I'm like, my boy's doing what he wants to do, you know?
That means a lot. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anytime.
I want to hear yours.
Yeah, so a question for this one, another way to rephrase it is like, would I still live this life if no one could see it? Is another way to like look at it as well. In minuscule ways, yes. I'm pursuing what I value. So I very much value like a healthy life, healthy like body, healthy mind. So I will very much actively look after myself with the gym, the food I eat, the content I consume, the conversations I have. So I think in that regard, yes. Because no one rewards me for doing the 10 minutes of meditation I do a day. No one rewards me for the books I read or the conversations I have with my friends. No one rewards me for that, but I value that. So I very much put that as a high regard. In terms of grand scheme of things, this is where for me it gets a little bit grey.
Grand scheme meaning?
Sort of life trajectory, purpose, those kind of, the big P. I know, childish, I know. I don't know. I think it's hard not to look back on the years I have had on this planet. One, be proud of them for the amount I've done, seen and achieved. But also to look back and go, it was somewhat aimless. You know? And this is where I think I am in my life. It's like, do I want to pick a target and run towards it? And be a little bit more direct? Or do I want to continue to maybe seek where I want to value? So in that regard, I think I probably have pursued what I value because I have been not necessarily aimless, but like I've seen what I wanted and I've made it happen.
Yeah.
You know, like no one's told me that I'm going to get rewarded for being a snowboard instructor or like working summer seasons and winter seasons, but I've done it because I value freedom and experience. But again, I think, as we've spoken about in other podcasts, my values are changing.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to answer this question because as I actively see my values change, it's like, how do I know if I'm aiming towards the right thing? And this is one of the reasons why I feel like I'm not making big life decisions at the moment, is because I don't know what my values are going to be in a year's time. Or not that they're going to drastically change, but it's like, where could I be in a year's time if I make this big choice now, or if I was a year down the line and I got more insight, you know?
Yeah.
That's my answer, and I don't think it's as clear as yours, but I think that reflects where we are.
Yeah, that's... I don't know if that's the answer I expected you to give. Because you've done lots of things that obviously I respect, and it's like, it's crazy that you've done all the traveling that you've done, and you've done really well to like get employment in an industry adjacent to traveling and all of that stuff. But it's not a question that I might think that like that's me, that's somebody external valuing what you're doing. So but there's nobody that can answer the question on like, other than you, about are you doing what you truly value?
Do you know what's funny? Is I think the more I would pursue a career with Intrepid would be more I would be pursuing what I'd be rewarded for valuing. That's all I can really think of is when I answer this question is there's a sales manager job coming up in my office now. And I'm like, I would get huge clout from everyone I know if I got that, you know?
Yeah.
Sales manager at a global company, like big money, like huge career aspirations. But is that what I value? And that's what I'm weighing up. And ironically, it's come at the worst possible time because I feel like I've had this sort of end of year crisis. I'm like, oh my God. And this job's come up. I'm like, oh, I'm not even that interested. So I don't know.
It's also the horrible reality of, would it be that much worse than what I'm doing now? And does the amount of extra money I'd earn help with that discomfort? Yeah. It's like, okay, but if I'm only going to stick at this for a year or two, then maybe I can just persuade myself to suffer for the next year or two. And then the problem is it gets to a year or two later, there's another position that opens up and it's just that little bit more money. It's just like maybe it's an extra, oh, well, I've already lasted this long doing this and I've proved to myself now. That's the thing. You've then got evidence that you know you can suffer and survive it. Yep. It's like, okay, so how much further do I... And then...
This is literally the internal dialogue I'm having in my head. And the end fear of that is I get to 35 and I'm not done what I wanted to do, which tells me I'm not probably living the way I want to live because there's so many places I want to travel and not just like, oh, like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. It's like, I want 3 months in Asia. Like I want 4, 6, 5 months in Asia.
You just want to live in the country that you want to for an undisclosed and unknown amount of time necessarily. Yeah. And then if you get bored, have the choice, optionality and freedom to move to a different country and live there for an undisclosed, unknown amount of time and carry it. It's like, that is ultimate freedom of choice and movement. Yeah.
This is why we need this to work, Will.
Need to get on those lives.
I knew what you were going to say.
Need to get on those lives.
I know. Are you ready for number 5? And I think it's really funny, this one. I saw it and I was like, could not be a better number 5 because it's gone full circle.
Okay.
Number 5 of our episode here is, which emotions do I intellectualize instead of feel? Yeah, full circle, mate. Are you ready? Yeah. All of them. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Go on. You go first. Yeah.
For me, so this is something I've actually done a lot of work on in therapy, so I can speak about this. It's wonderful. It was a good way to avoid it. And I always used to tell people I was an emotional person. I can really feel my emotions. And I really feel that sadness. I really feel angry. Or actually, anger is one I never wanted to feel. I can really feel these emotions. Incorrect. For the vast majority of emotions I was telling people I was feeling, I was intellectualizing them. I could tell you what I thought sadness felt like. And I could tell you what I thought it felt like so well that you would believe I felt it. But I wasn't feeling it. I was not.
Were you persuaded by your own intellectualization of the emotion?
I was shielded by my own self-preservation because I didn't want to feel that emotion. So I would put myself up here. I'd put my awareness into my brain, into my mind, rather than into my body. Because emotions are stored in the body. And if you put your awareness in your body, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel that pit in your stomach that you feel when you get bad news.
Yeah.
You're going to feel the blood running through you when you get angry. But if you go up here, you can tell yourself all of these things, but you're not actually feeling it.
Yeah.
So for me, the main one, anger I just avoided, but sadness. I could tell people I was sad so well. Oh man, I was so sad. You know, I really felt that. Oh, it was so hard. I feel that. Nah, I didn't. I didn't feel that, man. But yeah.
But not because you weren't actually sad, necessarily.
No, not necessarily. But because it was an easier way to process the emotion. It was easier to tell myself I was sad. It was easier to avoid the emotion. You know, we claim that being able to intellectualize the emotion is like an insight. You know, it's like, oh, like I'm clearly upset about something. It's like, well, yeah, you are, but why are you not processing it? Why are you not letting it? And it's still something I struggle with now. But I think that's something that is going to come and go. There's times where... So for me, I love music. Like, I love that you've made a career that's got music in it. I honestly love music. My head is like... there's constantly something playing in there. It's awful. It drives me insane. But like, any type of music I'll listen to and get so much joy from it. So when I hear a sad song... or even more so, like a sad rhythm, sad like melody, but even more so with sad rhythm, melody, and the words, I will bawl my fucking eyes out. It's the quickest way to get me to cry. But aside from that, I struggle to feel that emotion. Yeah, that's me, man.
Crazy. Remind me of the exact...
Which emotions do I intellectualize instead of feel?
Whew.
Yeah. Shall we get the list?
Yeah, I mean, I've said a lot on the podcast before. One of my greatest gifts is being able to put things into perspective.
Mm.
When the question's phrased, which emotions do you intellectualize the most?
Mm.
That perspective is not helpful. Because sadness doesn't get to see the light of day because I put it all into perspective. How I'm feeling, what impact does that have on the reality of me living in a brief moment of time on a rock spinning around a ball of fire have to do with anything? It doesn't. Is crying about it, is being sad about the fact that you've just lost a gig and you really needed that to pay your rent this month, is that like, does that help? No. Like one of the things my dad said to me when I was younger, and I'm sure it's just, I'll probably say it to my kids, which will probably do the same damage. But it's, kid cries at something. Okay, but is crying going to help? It's like, you've cut your knee. Yeah, but does crying make it heal faster? No. It's a completely logical thing.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's completely true.
But the cry is a sign for emotional support. Yeah,
but it's correct, and it's very difficult to persuade myself out of that. And the perspective on everything is like, okay, am I? And then I've said a lot before as well. Like, so much of everything I've said is all me intellectualizing everything. It's how I've navigated to this point. I've had an argument with my girlfriend. I just don't care. Like, I don't care about the argument. I was going to say it's easier, but I prefer to... Like, I know that I love Soph. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Therefore, feeling upset about this, I just won't care tomorrow. Therefore, I'm not going to feel this emotion now.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, for me, emotions, and this is why I still struggle, even after all of this therapy that we've been through, I still don't see life through a visceral emotional lens, because the amount of good stuff that's happened in my life, for me to now view life through an emotional lens and feel emotions more, it feels like you're taking steps back. And it's one of those things, the more you put it off, the more you need to go back and do it. But I've built myself up to this point. It's like, now I've got it. It's not just taking one step back or two steps back. It's like going right the way back to the very beginning of time for me to then learn how to build up my emotions and then catch up with where I am now.
But the funny thing that makes me think of is like, this gift of perspective you have, does it make you the most unhealthy man on the planet, or does it make you the most healthy man on the planet? You know, that's where I land on that. It's like, who the fuck am I to tell you if it's right or wrong? Who the fuck are you to tell if it's right or wrong? You know, like, for me, it's like, I don't know if that's the way I could navigate my life. But also, there's times I'm like, I wish I had that perspective, man, because you're right. Once you've something's in perspective, you're like, oh, wow, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's so hard, isn't it? Like,
but it's difficult because once you've seen that, though, you can't persuade yourself back to the emotion. You've seen you've seen both sides of it at that point. I've always tried to see, if I'm in an argument with somebody, see the other side of it. Like, if you learn where the other person's coming from, it's quicker to solve it.
Yeah,
you can understand where they're coming from there, because I think there's a I think most hate in the world comes from just not understanding.
Yeah.
So I heard that when I was young. So it was like, yes, okay, well, I'm just going to do that then.
So I suppose perspective is great unless it comes at the cost of something.
And the cost is me feeling negative emotions in this case. So, but is that a cost I'm willing to live with?
Yeah.
Is like, am I okay never feeling sad? Is that a stupid thing? It seems obvious.
This is what I mean. It's really, it's one of the things. It's like, well, maybe we should double down and be like, actually, no, let's dig this up and understand why, and we'll pick you apart. And suddenly, you're trapped in this like overwhelming ball of emotion, and like, oh well, we broke Will. Yeah, he's fucked, mate. He was good 2 hours ago. Now he's off.
Yeah. Interestingly, I don't know if I see crying as a thing to do with sadness as well. It could be a reframing I've done naturally.
Okay.
I cry for happy things
Nice.
more than I cry for sad things. Like I think you know how you said listening to a good song with the right lyrics, the right melody, the right rhythm. For me, it's always the films where the protagonist has gone through hardship and in face of every adversary succeeded and done well. Like any films where it's like the person, like it's a reenactment basically of somebody's life where they've built up a business from nothing and everyone doubted them, and then they've finally succeeded and they're on top of the world, and then somebody comes to them for advice at the end and they're like, yeah, I can help you out because I've been in your shoes. It's like those are the emotional moments for me.
I love that
because that means something to me. I can directly relate. But somebody dies in a film, like instantly the reframing is look around the room, oh yeah, it's on TV. But when it's I'm invested in the story, when I've seen them grow, I've seen what they've been through, I've seen where they've come from, which is why I always try and understand like how songs were made. I don't think it's just the fact that I'm interested in music. I think I'm invested in the story of that song then, and where it originated, where the ideas came from. I want to see your progression, I want to see your journey. And I've taken that to YouTube. I've made a business out of it. It's like people love to see how everything's made, not just the final product. And that's where TV goes wrong. Nobody shows you the behind the scenes of Match of the Day. But if they did, I promise you, all the live streams of that would do 10 times better than actual Match of the Day, because people are so curious to see the journey. People are invested in the story.
Yeah, true. People attach to the narratives, don't they? Interesting. Well, Will, we've done 5 out of 10 questions. And you remember, it was 10 questions I can ask myself about myself that I don't know yet. They were deep. You ready? We'll just recap. Who am I when no one is watching? And what do I do to avoid meeting that version of myself? Do I like who I've become? Or have I simply learned to tolerate myself? What parts of me have I exiled because they didn't earn approval? Am I truly pursuing what I value or what I've been rewarded for valuing? Which emotions do I intellectualize instead of feel?
Number 3 for me.
Number 3.
Exile.
Crazy. Yeah, I think for me it's either number 3 or number 2. Absolutely.
They're all amazing. This has been the best podcast
100%
that we've ever done.
Without a doubt.
Which is funny for me to say, because this is an emotional one.
This has been my favorite one. I want this one to do well. You remember I said the other time, like, oh, do we feel ready for us to blow up? You're like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, well, sometimes I feel like our conversation's not quite where I want to be. I feel like this was
on. You know how I was saying about does the podcast feel like it's on the tracks or not?
Yeah.
This one was on the tracks the entire way with no deviation.
No. Well, we got 5 more to do next time, man. I've written down my word for
I was going to say, it feels a bit crazy to have such a deep podcast and then finish with this shit.
But it's where we're at.
Here we go.
This will be the one where we get it.
Yeah.
We're like, perfect episode.
Go! Cantaloupe.
No.
Oh.
10
Well
out of 10.
done. Great podcast.
Episode. Yeah.